Hey guys, welcome to Faz Radio. We are now live. We have a special guest here today. It is the Carrie Allen from Gala Games. We're happy to have her. What?
It's me. Hi, y'all.
I think we're more amazed that you were actually able to squeeze us in. We definitely appreciate it.
We do.
I mean, it's the beginning of the year, and so my calendar started actually filling up kind of today, like for the next several weeks. But when you contacted me yesterday, I was like, yeah, I'm open. Let's do it.
So
That's awesome.
You got lucky. You would have asked next week. I would have been like, I don't know, guys.
And I thought you were doing this because you liked us. Okay.
Oh, I mean that. That's the reason. I move things around in my schedule for you. Yes. Correct.
All right. Yeah, thank you. I like that.
We're entertaining, if nothing else, Carrie.
I say that all the time. That's always my disclaimer.
So we've gone through a smorgasbord of events with Gala over the last 3-4 months. It's gone in a blink. It had to have been even quicker than a blink from you. What are some of your favorite parts of the last 2 or 3 months?
Oh my goodness. 2 or 3 months. Okay, so that's going back into October.
Yeah, October, November, everything just started to go at rocket speed.
Yeah, it really did. So I would have to look back at my calendar because I feel like I'm often in a blur, and I keep my face pretty much in the calendar because otherwise
I would probably forget things all the time. I'm seriously going to cheat and bring it up and look through things to jog my memory because I'm that awesome. And by awesome, I mean there's a lot of things in my brain all the time. So side note, while I look this up, is there a place where the chat is I should be watching?
Yes, in the StreamYard window, you should be able to see it.
Oh, okay. Well, that's handy.
We're streaming in 3 places. We're streaming on YouTube, on Twitter, and Twitch for the first time. So,
ooh, now I'm nervous. No.
Yeah, what you say will be repeated everywhere.
It's always repeated. I am very used to that. They're like, screenshot it, and I'm like, oh, fine.
So for these, some people are kind of new and they have no idea who the heck you are. So could you give us a rundown? Yeah, people don't know who you are.
All right. So
a little bit of background. I'm super important and amazing, and y'all should have done your research in the first place. No, for real. I started in crypto, I don't know, 6 or 7 years ago, actually on the Steam blockchain, which is now the Hive blockchain. And I started working with Splinterlands, which was Steam Monsters. I was part of that original team for the first 3 years. They're still doing very wonderfully. I'm still in, good company with the people who work there. I just decided to move over to Gala. I did that in March of 2021 officially.
I started working for Gala. I'd been helping Jason do some other things a little before that because I'd found Gala because of Splinterlands. I was looking for other communities for blockchain gaming to kind of join and partner up with Splinterlands as we started getting larger at that time. And I don't know, I just really hit it off with Jason. That is Bitbender in Discord for anybody that's paying attention here, or Jason Brink. And yeah, he brought me on soon thereafter, as well as my sweet husband, Chris Roberts, who was also with Splinterlands and now is the main head writer for all things Gala. So words that you see, generally they're written by him. And
whoa, that's cool.
So any blogs, I would just talk about him all the time, but he writes all the blogs. He's been writing those for a long time now, and stuff on the website, copy, just random things. Normally all of that stuff goes through him. He also has been doing social media of all of the different things, but we are getting our own team coming up starting next week. So we're really excited because Chris and I have kind of been doing everything by ourselves along those lines, and it's been a lot. So especially the last 3 months.
I did not know you were married to Chris Roberts.
I am. Chris Roberts is my sweet husband. Yay. Yeah. I always forget people don't know that, probably because I was too lazy to ever change my name, which I'm not lazy in normal things. I work really hard, but then some things I'm just meh. okay. And then I just it never gets done. Like it's on a list and I'm like, oh, later. Okay, that's
That
fine.
would be the second Chris Roberts that I know of associated with gaming, because I'm a Star Citizen backer.
Yes. So like yeah, I think when we like Google his name, because you know everybody does that. You Google yourself, right? That sounds dirty, but it's a thing. So yeah, we found that there were other Chris Roberts that were also in the space. So I guess back to me. Yeah, I started with
I was
Gala
sleeping
in
there
March.
and I almost sprayed everywhere.
That's amazing. I wish that we had cameras so I could see that happen. Like, to be honest,
That's why we don't have cameras.
I understand. Yeah. Plus, I'd like to just say right now, thanks for not having a camera, because then I didn't have to like worry about. I've got like a blanket on. It's kind of chilly in my office.
Titan always likes to wear these wife beater T-shirts, which makes him look terrible. So
yeah, I did that once, and we get offline afterwards, and Faz says, "Hey, you know, if you're ever gonna do that, let's not do the wife beater T-shirt again."
You're like, come on, can you like not be a ragamuffin? Let's try that.
He just needs to be smoking a cigar at the same time and drinking,
yeah, looking rough.
Well,
like there's a big stain on it from coffee from earlier in the day.
Well, that was very early, even before we talked to you the first time, and we were lucky. We got all excited when like 2 people would listen to us. And so I'm like, I think we're pretty safe here. There's like nobody watching anyway.
Word. I always felt like that too, but don't, because then you leave it up, because like I'm going to mildly out myself in hopes that like 1 million people aren't listening. But I have an old YouTube channel, because before
I watched some of that after the last.
I bet you have.
I'm sorry.
People randomly keep finding it, and I'm like,
I just leave it up. I'm like, whatever, it's fine. It's old now, and some of the stuff makes me laugh hysterically still. So if it brings me joy, I want it to bring others joy as well, even if it's often a hot mess. But like before, I'd be like, who cares? Nobody's going to watch this anyway. And then like I put it up, and to be fair, on my YouTube channel, most of those videos aren't watched, but some of them definitely have a lot more views than I ever would have guessed. Okay, I'm like, who is watching me and why?
Well, let's get down to business here. I don't want to keep people waiting.
All right. So I'm Carrie Allen, and I am technically right now community manager and marketing lead. Been doing that for kind of all of Gala for the last several months, because Chris and I just fell into that role. Technically, once we get a team going, I will be focusing more on TownStar. I really love working with the TownStar team, with Elliot and Warren and the developers over there, and just the community. It is currently, of course, the only playable game, but that won't be true for very long on Gala. And I don't know, I've really gotten to know everybody over there, and I really enjoy. I like it, and I'm not good at it, so everyone can make fun of me, that's fine, but I can make gasoline, and I feel like that's a really good accomplishment. So if I can do that, anyone can do it. So we're working on a lot of really awesome stuff that's going to just make TownStar like just more and more amazing all the time. I'll still be helping with all the other stuff in Discord. Like you might see me around doing all the announcements and things. I kind of have my pulse on just everything that's happening since I've been running the marketing stuff. So like even if I might say I don't know, I generally probably do know what's going on.
So you can you answer some questions about TownStar?
Yeah, probably. Like I know quite a bit about it, and like if there's things that like are not supposed to be talked about, then I'll just be evasive. But most of the things I can just answer probably.
So I have one to start people off, and we were talking about TownStar last night, or this morning, I forget. And people were like, man, TownStar like doesn't have a lot going on. And I'm like, well, there's actually a lot they're planning to do. If you guys saw the Galaverse interview with the people in charge there, they're talking about a bunch of new features that were coming out. And I think people think that TownStar is done. And from what I understand, it hasn't even yet begun.
Right. That's more correct. Like, it hasn't really even begun yet. So like for people who are new, again, just a little bit of background. TownStar has been around for just over a year right now. It originally started before that, as like the idea was for it to be a mobile game. When Michael McCarthy, who's now working on Miranda's, started working on it, it was his like little dream baby. And so he started creating that. And then they were like, ooh, blockchain, pretty. And they decided that they wanted to bring that game into blockchain. So they started to rework the entire game into code for blockchain and make that happen. And so about a little more than a year ago, Townstar was suddenly playable with like blockchain capabilities and things like that. And it started out really, really slow. And for like the first year or so, there's been a lot of learning going on and a lot of changing and a lot of updating and a lot of like changing of the guard. Like new people are joining the team. People who were on the team before are moving to another team. Like there's a lot of movement that is happening, and we're really starting to get solidified now. And what you mentioned before about at Galaverse, very, very correct. Like a lot of people probably did miss this, but there is going to be a market board system that will be coming very soon that is going to like change how everything kind of works a lot for Townstar. And it's going to be kind of like the basic idea or like map of how we will be able to implement a similar market board into all of the other games that will be coming onto the platform in the coming years. So basically what that is like kind of like a rental system. So for other people who have played things like Splinterlands, there's already a rental system in place where it's provably fair for you to be able to rent out assets that you own to another player so that they can use those things that you own. And then you guys can share rewards, or you can charge them for the assets while they're playing with them. And it's all very controlled because it's on blockchain. So we are looking at, and it's, like I said, it's coming relatively soon. They're working quite hard on it. It will probably come after our user experience is updated. So I'll come back to that in just a second. But for as user experience, I know there are a lot of people that, like, when you first started with Townstar, it was hard. Like, you had to kill your town a lot to be able to figure out what was up. And like at first, that was Michael McCarthy's vision. Like, he wanted that to be part of the game. Like, part of the thing was like, you have to figure it out. Nobody's going to spoon feed it to you. No one's going to give you the exact way of how you're supposed to do this and what you're supposed to place next and what you need, or else you're going to run out of money. Because, you know, it's kind of like life. Like no one really like holds your, well, they do, I guess, but generally, like, you have to figure things out for yourself to see how they work. So what we're doing now instead is trying to work through that first time user experience, or as we call it with the developers, the FTUI. Yeah. First time I heard somebody say that, I was like, what did they just say? Like, I was like, I had no idea what, I was like, is that a word even? And then it was, you know, stands for FTUE. So first time user experience. So we're working on that with several people, including Chris, because he is very familiar with Townstar and he has loved it for a long time. He's been playing since before we both worked for Gala. But so the plan is to make it like, you know, a tutorial. So when brand new people come in, we can easier. That's better.
You are drinking.
Not yet.
This is just my
normal me. So as we bring new people on, it's going to be a lot easier for them to want to stick around, because it is frustrating for a brand new person who maybe they're interested in the world building, but it is really complicated. And we see that and we understand that. And we've been doing a lot of first time user experience. I don't know, like checks, like I don't even know but Nina on the team, she goes out and finds people and says, here, try to play this game. And then we get feedback from them, like in real time. They do videos. And so we get real time information on what's working, what's not working. Why is this hard? When are you frustrated? When do you quit? When do you not want to do this anymore? What things do you hate? What things do you love? And so we're using all of that information that we've been compiling for the last year to make it way better and to be able to onboard a lot more people. So there's always questions about like, why aren't you advertising more? Why isn't there more marketing? I was like, we needed to really scale up organically while we started figuring all of these things out so that we'd be ready for the masses to come in. And I feel like now is about the time, like we're getting ready to do that now. So Townstar is going to, a lot of things are going to change. Not like crazy change. It's still going to look like Townstar. Like the art probably going to get a facelift. Like there's lots of little things like that are going to update. The market board where you're going to be able to rent, that's going to be a big deal because that's going to allow people who are lovingly called whales to be able to have their assets that they have, but they don't have a lot of time because they're doing other things. And they're going to be able to loan or rent out those assets to other people and be able to earn off of those people playing. And at the same time, allow those people to earn off of the assets that they don't own in the first place. And they will be able to do that for basically free. So like one of the options for that would be you don't have to even necessarily pay anything to rent something, but you agree that if you rent it and you play with it, then part of the rewards that you get from it will be able to go back into your pocket and then to the person who owns the asset. So that makes it so the people who don't have a lot, they can rent one. Or maybe you want to try a new NFT that's kind of pricey and you're like, I don't know if I'm going to like it or not, or if it's really going to be good for me. Well, you could just basically borrow it for a while and decide if you do want to spend your own money on it and then get it back. So that is really exciting to me. I love that when that was implemented in Splinterlands, and that really opened up the possibility for people like on both sides to be able to just like, you know, really earn the most that they possibly could and have fun with all the games. On top of that, we have plans on our little baby roadmaps. Like each one of the games has our like own roadmaps written out basically, and they're not solidified for 2022 going on quite yet. We're putting things in, and of course things move around, but there's lots of new assets that are going to be put in. There's lots of new functions. There's new things that like you might always be like, oh man, I really wish this was part of TownStar. It's very possible that's going to be part of TownStar soon. Like we have been listening to the community and taking down all of those ideas. And I know it feels like sometimes no one hears you, but we definitely do hear you. And I definitely keep track of all of the things that people say. And I make sure that they get back to the right team members. And specifically with TownStar, the team works really well together. And we just wanted to make it awesome. So it's okay when people get down. I mean, they can go play another game and then come back and be like, what? It got way better and I didn't even know about it. And I'm like, yeah, it did. Sorry for you, bro.
So we have a number of questions here in chat. Can you see the chat?
Oh, I was in the wrong place. I was in private chat and nothing was coming up. And I was like, no one likes me. Oh my God. So yes. Okay. So I'll scroll them up. Okay. Here we go. Let's scroll down here. We got a lot of haze. Hi there and hello. Hi from Sweden. Hello. Hi. All right, scrolling down to questions. So the first one I'm seeing with a question mark is what will I be able to do with TownCoin? So there are lots of different things on this list as well. I don't want to do too many spoilers because nothing is solidified in stone yet. So currently, you can purchase specific assets from the Gala.games store with TownCoin. And then, of course, you can cash it out and do with it whatever you please. Hopefully, in the future, there will be other things that it'll be used for, commonly called syncs, that will potentially could make your gameplay more fun, different little things that you could add on, like there are so many things in my brain right now since I'm in meetings all the time. And I'm like, oh, I want to say that, but I really shouldn't. So, and actually there's a really, really cool leak / exciting thing that's coming on Monday. I believe that we're getting ready to leak out about something TownStar related.
So the point there is, I think people were just wanting to make sure that there's some sort of use or utility for TownCoin other than just paying for things.
Right. Yeah, that is definitely on the list of things that we are working on implementing. So
And
basically the big stop is we want to get off ETH. So we're working on Gala chain. It's going to be a lot easier to do a lot of these things once we have that up and running.
Right. And I wanted to throw something in there. The reason why they don't tell you what they're doing right away is a lot of times they have agreements with vendors. A lot of times they have a roadmap, or they have I've been a programmer for over 25 years, and you can say something is done, but if it's not well tested and you say something's going to be ready, sometimes you might have to push it back like a month or two, for a feature to come out. So it's start promising that stuff, then people get butthurt. Like,
So
You guys lied. You said you were going to put this out. No, we are, but look, we can't tell you everything because, hey, this part of the feature, we might just axe that because it's causing a problem. And so, or we have to put this one on hold until this other feature is done. I mean, it's kind of how it works.
Yeah, 100%. I feel like I answer that question like a couple of times a week. They're like, why don't you have this listed? I'm like, I would love to. I'd love to show you like what our plans are, but the plans change. And then
But
you're
right
like,
now
but
it's
you
blowing up the game
said.
behind the scenes and we
Yeah,
can't release it yet.
Right. And like then they get all like, butthurt, like you said, and then they're upset because they're like, you said this date, and I'm like, I know, and we were guessing. And
and then when you put it out and it breaks, like you're like, yay, we got our date, we put it out, and they're like, this doesn't work. You guys are putting out shit. What the hell? You even check your stuff? It's like, come on, guys.
We definitely check it. It's true. But yeah, the more people to help check it. So like, and that's the other thing too. And thank you. Just to remember, we're building this in front of you rather than like, the normal old way of things where like everything was kind of built behind closed doors. Everybody that had access to whatever game or whatever is being built, they're on a team and nobody knows about it until it is final. It's been tested a quadrillion times, maybe through years. Finally, after it's completely finished and done, then they start advertising for it. They're still testing for it at that time. And then a year after they first announced that it's ready, when it's already been ready for 3 years, then it hits Walmart.
And that's version 1.0.
Yeah.
Which
right.
it never works.
Yeah. So, yeah, it is, we're just learning all together and building these new things. And then the blockchain aspect with the NFTs and the ability to learn with play to earn, it's all really new. And we're all learning from other games in the space and other projects that are happening. And our goal really is first and foremost is to make fun games. And then also right after that, very, very low, right below the funness, is we want to be able to have you own your assets, because that is a big deal. And that's why we got into blockchain in the first place, because it was a little crazy that we couldn't own our things. And then play to earn, of course, this is the future. We all should be paid for our time, and not necessarily Facebook. Like, it's not a new idea. Facebook and free things like that, they basically use our attention as money. And so instead, we're just kind of flipping that around and just giving it back to everybody and the people. So I like it. But yeah, it can be painful sometimes. And waiting seems like you're waiting forever because you're waiting forever. There's really, this is just how it goes. For questions here, to combine basketball courts into one NFT instead of 3, when Gala chain is live. So I don't want to talk for the devs on this. I am most familiar with the Hive blockchain and with Splinterland since I worked there for so long. And the capabilities of that blockchain, yes. If any of you out there are familiar with Splinterlands, you can combine cards. Basically, it burns. Like if you combine 3, it would burn 2 and then make 1 new one. That would be your new whatever. So this is definitely capable. I don't know if it will be capable right when Gala chain starts, if it is a plan for them to do that, if it's something that they plan to implement at a later time. But I do know that as far as blockchain, that this is something that can be done. It's just not something that can be done on the ETH blockchain, which is again why we're moving. I am also super hyped for the tower defense game. Woo! I think it looks so cool. And you guys haven't even seen like the newest videos yet. Oh my God. You guys are going to be so excited. At least if you're like me. Farm bots. I think those are still in the cards. I know like farm bots, and what was the other thing? The boom bot that's already out. Crane bots will be back after Gala chain is implemented, and like the ability to put them together. My brain farted. It's not combine. It's another word. Construct. I don't know. They'll be back in any case once sometime after Gala chain, they'll bring those back, so they'll be available. But yeah, those are still on the list too. And like I said, I know it feels like there's so many things because there are so many things, but we are expanding our team pretty quickly. We just got a new producer for our team who seems like he's going to be amazing and really helpful to make sure things are going in the right spaces. That's just for the TownStar team, because now each game has their own little team for everything that's happening. Crispering. I never know how to say the names out. His
Crisp
asked
herring, you know, like
crisp
red herring.
herring, not a
Right.
PHF sound. That makes
It's
more
very
sense.
crispy.
Got it.
He likes
Excellent.
crispy
All right.
herrings.
All right. So he asked if I could share on the difficulty of the daily challenges for season 2. So don't be afraid when we get into season 2, which again I'm assuming isn't going to happen until after like Gala Chain. There hasn't been chat about we're doing that right now, so I'm assuming that like we're all kind of hands-on trying to make sure that we get Gala Chain up and running. And I know it feels like that's been forever too, but everyone is really working hard on getting that going. But the challenges, they're not going to instantly become harder. They are probably going to at first stay around like the star point, and what might change is like the words, like the little stories that probably 10% of you read anyway, and the theme will change a little bit, but it'll basically still be getting that amount of stars. In the future, the goal is going to be to make those challenges more complicated and more interesting. Like instead of just collecting stars, the challenge might be something like collect X number of wood, or send this much flour to the store.
Yeah,
and once you hit that,
I was trying to explain to people that these challenge right now, the challenge is just kind of there. Like,
Yeah.
okay, we got a challenge going, and they're going to get really complicated, and people are going to have to really start minding their P's and Q's, and you know, actually trying.
We
to play
have
the game.
discussed keeping them like for the same week. While we plan to do different daily challenges, that we'll keep them within like a similar build. So if the challenges will all be focused around like the cake stuff or like wood stuff. So like you're not in the middle of a cake build and we're like, you have to send us wine, because that would be just mean. Like, so we're thinking ahead about those kind of things too. We're not trying to like disrupt your gameplay, just make it more fun and challenging and, you know, still rewarding on that end of things.
Is it possible that Nicole Tesla could be bought separately at some point?
That actually hasn't been discussed yet. I will ask and bring it up just because she's cool and like she could just be like, because right now she just comes with legendary, so she walks around. But I will bring it up that people would be potentially interested in having her walk around the other lower ones as well at a price point. That seems like a good idea. And I feel you, Ian. Townstar, I'm not as good at Townstar either. Spider Tanks is super fun and will be coming pretty soon. The delay on that is like they're working on the play to earn aspect, and they want to make sure that all of those things are pretty ready to go once they release, so they don't have to like start over from scratch. So all of the builds and things are basically going to look, if you've been playing Spider Tanks, so if you own the parts or a whole tank together and you've been in and you've had fun, or if you've watched like shout out in about 2 hours from now, the US tournament that was postponed from Galaverse because of COVID, like several people couldn't make it suddenly, like last minute. So we had to postpone that tournament. That's going to happen in 2 hours. I did put a post in the main Gala Discord in the Spider Tanks announcement. It'll be streamed on YouTube, so you can watch that. You should, if you've never watched Spider Tanks, or even if you have, the commentators that we have that like talk through the thing, they are amazing. Like it's straight up, like it's super cool. And like I almost nerded out, like just watching, like, because I can't do it. Like I'm watching and all I'm thinking when I'm watching people play Spider Tanks is, ooh, got him. Like that's it. I'd be the worst commentator. So I'm glad they found someone to do it.
Do you have anything to say about how soon Spider Tank is coming out?
I think originally they were looking like it's very possible it will still be in this quarter. That's going to be 100, like more dependent on like them just being able to get that their rental / you know, the player system.
It's the rental system. It seems that this rental systems actually might be holding up a few different things, like season 2 on Townstar, right?
Yeah, that's also true. So it does seem like, and again, like I know it feels like it's been taking forever, and like I don't want to say any dates, like it could be super soon, but we still have to do internal testing a lot before we can release it. And then of course, as you've already mentioned,
we'll probably release it and things will break a little because a million more people playing on it than us. Although we have over 200 people on the full Gala game staff now. So a lot more people to do testing than before when it was like everyone is required to come test this game right now. And I'm like, oh, it's the middle of the night.
I have a question about that.
Mhm.
So about the testing, like I said before, I was a Star Citizen backer, and they wound up coming up with a testing group of loyal players that could help test, and you can get a lot of free help from us, and I'd want to be one of them. Where if you said, okay, let's put it out to the testing group, and then the testing group goes and they sign an NDA and all that stuff, but you can have a lot more testers because we don't know what we're doing, and we're going to start pushing all sorts of buttons.
Right, and that's the perfect test.
And that's that way it can break before it gets out to everybody else. And this testing group with Star Citizen, they got like special like credibility and special like gifts and stuff like that. I think you should do this whole thing where you give like the testing group their own NFT and they're like really cool and you want to be on the testing group.
Yes, I love that. So
you can control the size.
Side note, we are going to be probably working on that. Now that we're getting like so much larger and we're bringing more people onto the team, each one of the different games has their own like QA or quality assurance people. And that will encompass, as far as I understand, having more testers. And we've discussed making sure that we have NDAs in place and then start growing those tester communities. I love the idea of doing NFTs that you can, have bragging rights that you're a tester.
You could also use that to verify that the person is in the testing group. I mean, you could use it as gating. So if this is not in your, if this, well, you can even say, if this testing round's NFT is in your wallet, then you can test this time. And we only gave out 100 of those, and so on. And then you could say next week, if you have this other round's testing NFT. Anyway, I'm just, that's just ways you can use it.
Yes, I love it because it is true. Like as much as like I would love to just sit around and test games all day, I don't have time to do that. Like a lot of times I feel bad because I'm like, I'm so sorry. I can't do it right now. I'm sorry. Like I feel embarrassed, but like, Faster, the first person shooter that I'm sure you've like kind of noticed, like when they were first doing testing for that, like I have not got to play it at all because every time they've like pinged to have people come in, I was just in the middle of like 5 meetings or something. So yeah, I will bring that up to the teams probably when I meet with all of them like on Tuesday, just to like put that feeler out. And yeah, I think it's a great idea to be able to utilize the community, and I know you guys are excited to use things beforehand anyway, even if you're under a NDA. A faster builder. I think that if you have skins, then he moves faster. But that's what
I saw a TownStar video. Somebody was doing some TownStar thing a few days ago on YouTube. And I didn't know this, but the worker actually has a forklift. Is there an NFT for the worker? I don't know how to get that. I've never seen that before.
I don't think that there's a separate NFT, but that is probably on our list of things. So there's a lot of things that are in game that, you just play with in game that exist that don't have an NFT counterpart or an upgrade.
Well, I haven't seen the forklift before. It was a worker. I think it's the worker house. He's loading batteries and stuff like that.
I got that one. It doesn't seem to move any faster.
That's no fun.
Yeah. If
maybe
so,
it's
the appearance of it is not faster.
I don't care about the batteries because I have Tesla coils, but oh well.
Well, so now, Carrie, let me ask you this. Watching Galaverse through some of the streams and so forth, especially watching the legacy, Gala has done a lot with incorporating like how you can use a Vox in a different game. They can be put into different universes. They might not be as powerful. I'm one of those people that notices everything. And maybe that's why I was so good at sales all those years. So when I was watching this legacy presentation, I noticed that some of the same items from TownStar were in the screenshots and such for legacy. Is there plans not only for characters but games like Townstar, when you send your freighter out with uniforms, that it goes into a legacy business?
So currently, there hasn't been a huge amount of discussion on cross game like NFT like capabilities to go through, but I assume that we will probably cross that bridge when we get there. And I agree. Looking at Legacy, it's very similar and looks like it could share a lot of the same characteristics. And that just happens to be because it's a builder, and that's they look like that. Simulations.
Yeah,
look like
I noticed
that.
the two games looked a lot alike.
Yeah. And like it wasn't because they were working together or anything like that. It just, that just happened to be what it was happening. But yeah, as far as like cross functionality for different things, that would be awesome. It takes, a bit more creative coding on how that works, but it shouldn't be too difficult. Again, in my brain, I'm only understanding how it works on like the Hive blockchain and how we are able to like move our assets from different blockchains for Splinterlands. So I do know that it is possible. And then just basically being able to just write in the correct code that pulls in that asset to be able to use. Not out of the question, not currently on the roadmap that I know of, but I'm sure that as soon as we get these games actually released and playable, that those kind of discussions are probably going to take place, because I think people would like to see it. I think it would be super fun to be able to, really own your asset and be able to use it around different places.
Hey, Bucks is in the chat.
Bucks!
How did she even know I was here?
I put something on the Gala Discord. I didn't put a link so I wouldn't get banned, but
I would have banned you instantly.
Said, come over to Faz Radio and come to the Faz to get a link.
Well, I'll tell you though, some of the other things that we see a lot, we have just gobs of Gala people that we talk to on a daily basis over in our Discord. And let me ask you this. One of the things that people talk about, and Faz and I have talked about it on Faz Radio before and privately and everything else, the appearance when things do go sideways, speaking of coding errors, is not very much empathy that goes out towards the community. We all know, because we know a lot of you guys personally, that that's not the case. No, we know that you guys do care. Why is it just seems so stoic instead of sharing that empathy? There's so many people that would love to know how true it is, how heartbroken you guys are when stuff goes sideways.
Before she answers, I just want to say one thing in support for the Gala side, because I've been a programmer for a long time. Programmers and doers, I see that they're doers, and they do a lot of work. And I think they're really just heads down thinking about just getting things done, and then people complain, and then they just don't have time for it. Carrie, you can give a nicer answer.
Yeah, I agree. So our community has grown very fast in a very short amount of time. And there are a handful of us, like myself, Bucks, and like several others who are in there. And like, I very much do care. And like, I am that bridge between the community and between the developers who may not like to talk to humans so much as their code. So they also get really upset. They just don't know necessarily, or aren't as good at conveying those feelings. And it might stress them out to be in the chat. It might stress them out to like know what they're supposed to say. And then it gets really overwhelming as soon as you show up. Tons and tons of people start tagging you. And if you're not used to that, it can be a little nuts. What we do focus on, and Eric asks us, Eric Benefactor in Discord, he asks us regularly, all of the entire team of Gala Games, to come into Discord, because it's real. We know that it's really important for the community to know that we're here, that we care, that we're paying attention, that we're watching things. And just seeing those red names in chat, we understand that it's really, really important. But again, as we get larger and larger, there's always going to be new people. People are they're going to be here for like 3 days, and then they're going to think that they know everything. And they haven't even been to the blog before. And then they're going to come in and they're going to be like, nobody's listening to me. And like, if I ever see those, I'm like, hi, I'm so sorry. Cause like, I understand I've gone into a Discord and I've asked a question in general and I'm fully ignored because I'm new. And like, I really focus on our mods and our other team members when I try to get them to come join us in Discord, to just let them know, like, if you see somebody ask a question, especially if they're brand new, answer them or say, hey, I don't know the answer to that, but I will get back to you with somebody who does know, because it's really important that they know that they're not being ignored, even if there's thousands and thousands of people asking the same question.
Well, could it be that maybe there needs to be more people to deal with customer service?
Yeah, we are constantly expanding. We have been adding new mods, who are doing great. Generally, like for people who may or may not know, we reach out to people who are already in the community. They've been here for a while. They're helpful. And we're like, hey, can we give you the power of mod? Because we really think you're a great person and we love it if you be on our team. And then we bring them in, give them the tools that they need to help even better than they were helping when they were just organically doing it because they believe in Gala Games as a project. And so we have been adding mods very regularly. And we continue to do that, especially as we continue to grow. And then kind of what happens is people mod for a while and then they're kind of brought onto the actual Gala Games team and they turn red. So you might see a lot of people go from purple to red pretty quickly. And then a lot of times we put them on the customer service team. And right now, as many of you may know, we are still a little behind on customer service tickets and support tickets, but that should be catching up very quickly as well. We have more and more people that are coming on, and it's kind of just a matter of getting them very trained so that they know how to answer those tickets correctly. And again, a lot of those people were mods, and then before that they were community members, so they already kind of know what happens and what goes on. It's just a matter of getting them into the software so that they understand how to answer those questions. I don't know the exact number of how many people are on like the customer support team, but I feel like it's probably over 40 now. Like it is a lot of people, and lots of people on the team who aren't officially that as their title help out constantly, including myself. Like I'm not on that team. They don't even give me the tools, which is probably good because then I get stuck in there all the time. To help out and really try to do our best to help out more. But yes, I hear you. We are adding more people. We have, I don't even know. Let me look at the number. It's probably going to make me like freak out. 132,000, almost 133,000 members just in Discord. We have about 250,000 people or more, I think, on our Twitter right now. And all of these are organic. We haven't paid for those. We never had weird, and no offense to people who do this, but weird contests on Twitter were like this and follow this and tag 3 friends. Like we didn't ever do that because I was really adamant about wanting only people to follow us who wanted to follow us, not because they were trying to get into a contest or enter something so they could potentially win something that they would probably just flip and sell. So yeah, we have grown quickly. We could probably use a lot more mods. Sometimes I come in and I'm mildly stressed out because I'm like, oh my gosh, General is full of questions right now. And I just want to take a break because like I like pop in after I've been doing a bunch of stuff for the day. But then I remember that I have my team of mods and I go pop in and I tag them and I say, hey, can you guys go in here and scroll back up and answer those questions, even if they're a few hours old. So we do pay attention to this and we are constantly listening. And I've been in a lot of communities before, and I'm not just saying this because I'm here now, but the Gala community is better than any community that I have ever been a part of. Like, even though we have, some salty people, that's all right. Because there's a lot of like money and things being exchanged and like people get spicy about this. So like it is very fine. Like if you didn't get spicy, then I'd worry that you didn't care. So I like to know that you care, be nice still, no need to name call, but let us know what we're doing wrong or what you think we're doing wrong. And we'll try to fix that because we're always growing together. And I say this over and over again, without everybody in the community and without all of you guys supporting us, we wouldn't have Gala Games. We wouldn't be able to continue to grow and hire more people and bring on more games and make more partnerships. So it's really important to me and like will always be important to me that we have that connection with the community. And I don't ever want to let it go. Even as it gets bigger, I feel like I will know everyone, even though I know that's not possible.
Well, I think a lot of us who initially came in skeptical have really changed our minds, and it was about going in the right direction. And with that, I mean building that trust and communicating better. Faz and I would talk about that quite a bit, and you guys have come a long way. And that kind of was way back at the beginning of our conversation when I was saying the last couple of months, because you guys have come leaps and bounds in the last few months. And there's a lot of people that I talk to on Discord that really, really get it now. And there's more and more people, and those are the people that you want in that community. I agree with you 100%.
Yeah, I love it. Like, I really do. I know, like, I don't know. I think I think generally I might overwork. I've been trying really hard for this first 7 days of the new year to like give myself some more breaks. And I'm really excited that Bucks, who I don't know if she's still listening. It is super late for her. It is after midnight for her, so she should be sleeping or at least drinking tea and all bundled up, enjoying her Friday evening, maybe with some alcohol in it as well. I don't know. She likes that sort of thing. But helping build up our team so that I can have a little bit of time. I don't know if she will ever, though. I know that she's been in lots of chats of things that are happening this year. So if you think we did a lot of stuff last year, just wait. Like, it is about to get out of control. And seriously, like, I felt like the announcements on Galaverse, I spent a lot of time just at my computer, like stuck in a corner, making sure that all the announcements came out to Discord at the right time during that event. And it felt like so many things were getting announced, and there really were. But this year is going to look a lot like that, just regularly, as we expand into really exciting things. Like,
So
I want to tell you all of them. I can't.
Speaking of that, so I see that, you know, I'm starting to get the idea, the notion that maybe the Gala Discord is trying to do too much, because if you go through all these channels, oh my God, you have Legacy, Spider Tanks, Echoes of Empire, Fasters, TWD, Townstar,
Yes,
Vox, and it's too much.
it's so much. I
And
feel you.
there's got to be a way, you know, to somehow make this more consumable to people.
Yes. So
Or
there are plans for that too. Nothing is set in stone on that. Like, in my perfect brain world thing, we would be able to do a lot of stuff like on the Gala Games website, including like chatting with each other, following announcements. We do have plans with all of the other games that we have on board for them to make their own Discord hubs or other places where their community can actually begin to thrive and really have a good place where it's their one-stop shop, where we'll still do announcements for each of these things, but the main community will live in another place. Same thing with, like, I assume maybe Townstar might stay just because it stayed, and like for now Miranda's until things are released, and then they'll move out. I'm also looking at this thing called Momo Board. For anyone who's, you know, bored, you can go check it out. Anyone can join right now. It's kind of like Twitter and Facebook and Discord and all of the things, and Reddit, like, but none of those things but together. So I really like it. I'm thinking about looking at that and like talking to Nephilian Haas in Discord to see if we can like kind of outstretch over there, because I agree with you. It's a lot going on in the Discord right now, and I think that there is like an actual limit to how many people that a Discord channel can hold. And I don't know what that limit is, but I'm sure we'll hit it at some point, and we'll need to really have a plan for that, because again, I don't want the community ever to like be disconnected. I know a lot of big, huge names, they don't have communities. They have Twitters and YouTubes and things like that, but you don't have access to the teams. There's no way to get to them. You can contact customer support, but there's no way you're going to talk to the CEO of the business. Like what we have here is so special, and we are going to work really, really hard, I think, to try to keep that specialness here with Gala Games, because I think that's it makes us who we are.
Very good. You know, with so much coming up, the communication is going to be key. I think at least with me, the more communication, the better. People just don't like surprises. That's really what it boils down to. And I realized that a lot of my early anxiety about Gala was with that anxiety of just last second, oh my God. But the better the communication gets, the easier it is to consume. And I understand now a lot more about these hiccups after talking to some of the people that I've talked to, and it really has spread. Your team is doing a magnificent job. When you get this other group going, I mean, that's going to take it over the edge, and I think everybody's going to be in a much, much better place once that team gets rolling out and you guys can communicate up front instead of trailing behind.
Yep. Like I'm personally, and I think everyone is on the same page. We're excited about being able to be ahead and more prepared
Right?
rather than reactive. It was just the way that it happened last year. Like everyone was very excited about Gala Games and about just the whole idea of everything and wanting to just do it now and fast and like get it going and really deliver on our promises. And so that is what this year is going to be about, really adding to that, really delivering on those things and making sure that we get all of those things out that we are saying, like all of the games that we have listed now. There's going to be so many more coming that will be put up on the site, and then getting them playable, getting them in the hands of you guys, the players, so that you can actually start having fun playing the games and earning with them. So yeah.
We hear that on our side in our Discord as one of the biggest things is just the communication, because they get lost over in your Discord there, because somebody will ask a question and so many people are talking that their question just goes up and they kind of come over here for some clarity. And that is the biggest key right there. Once you explain it to them and say, oh, here's what happened. Here's what went with this. And here they ask about roadmaps and white papers. And I just answered a question on that the other day. I said, look, they've done superb without a white paper so far. They need that flexibility. They need to be agile in this space. There's going to be way more competition in 2022 than there was in 20 or 21. They need to be able to move and make decisions and make changes. And if they make commitments to you that they lay out a year in advance, you're just going to be disappointed when they have to pivot and move to keep where they need to be.
Yeah, exactly. And like I explained it, thank you for answering those questions to people in your Discord, because I do that too. And like, I get it. Like most people, especially in crypto, there's always a white paper. There's always like some, boring document that you want to read because it has the information in it. And we don't have that. We will probably have something that we potentially could. I don't think we might release because of what you're saying, but a better schedule of things of exactly what's happening. But still, like you said, if we were to release that, and if I'm to say oh, we're going to release this in June of this year, and then say we start working on something else, or say whoever that partner is, they're like, oh, we had this other thing that happened and now we can't. And then
that hamstrings you too.
It's just that's the thing, is the communication. As the communication improves, that naturally will go away, because you can communicate like that. That's why I think that's why a lot of people get so worked up and so aggravated and start venting into these rooms, is because they just don't know. And the fear of the unknown is the biggest fear on the planet. So even like the stuff you guys have been putting out lately with on the AMAs and stuff, with coming out, oh, hey, we're expecting this in 2022, or here's what we're even telling people, okay, like you did earlier this evening. Hey, here's what is kind of coming up in Townstar. Here's what we're thinking about expanding on, without giving a timeline or writing a white paper or typing this blog post that paints you in a corner. You're communicating. And that's really all the people want.
Yeah. And that, like, I 100% agree. I love communicating with you guys. I want to be as transparent as possible without like making date promises, because it feels like every time we've done that, we've been burned. Like with the best intentions. Like we think, yeah, we're
course.
going to do it this day, and then it breaks and we're like, it's not going to happen now. And then we feel bad, and we understand that you're frustrated. And like, so then I try to portray that, and there are probably a lot of people probably like, whatever, she doesn't care.
Well,
But I really do.
there's some education in there too. A lot of people, what gets me by being a programmer is a lot of people don't understand that things you program break, and they're like, well, why is this out if it breaks? It's like, things are gonna break. We're gonna have to be telling you bad news at some point. Stuff happens. The fact that you're communicating is more important, in my opinion, than things breaking. If it breaks, you're like, hey, we're working on it. I can then move on with my life and be like, oh, well, Townstar is going to be down for a day while they're fixing some boo-boo. Okay, I can move on. People might complain, but most of us can move on.
I mean, Gala Games has done a tremendous amount behind the scenes, and people don't see that. And while Gala Games owes nobody anything, really, it boils down to, if something that is talked about isn't working out, it doesn't have to be specifics. You don't have to lay your company business out, but maybe just filling in a couple gaps to give them a why behind the why. Hey, we're working on Gala Chain. It's going along great. We've hit a couple of speed bumps. Things are still going well. Or if something does break, this stuff where people just want to know, they want to feel they're here because they want to feel like they're part of something bigger. They want to feel like they're a part of it. And when people come out and say, oh, well, no, that's just not going to happen, and then it goes radio silent, and everybody's like, well, what the hell just happened here? Right?
Yeah, for sure.
And then they're like, I just spent $4,000 on this NFT, and now I've got to wait another 6 months. And then they get all pissed off. And then again, it's radio silence.
Not naming things. Frank Miller.
So that I don't want to, the reason that we haven't made, well, partly the reason I haven't made any announcements is because Discord has thwarted me, and I can't actually make announcements in that channel anymore. I don't know why. I've been putting them in the regular chat. I have been pushing for this, and what happened is just other things come up, and other like we've already talked about, and other fires happen where there are thousands and thousands of people affected by this thing that has to be fixed now. Whereas with the Frank Miller thing specifically, there were 1,000 made, and I'm pretty sure many people have multiples of them. So that is it just got bumped down a little bit.
Right.
Now,
keeping the lights
to make you feel better,
keeping the lights on is more important.
Yes, exactly. So all of this is going to change in the future too, because of us expanding. So we're going to have more developers and more people who are going to be able to do things like this, and more people who are just focused on doing the one thing and not having to pull everybody off of one project to help fix, the fire that's burning down the building, so that we can make sure that it's working correctly. So all of this is going to change and get much better and much smoother during this coming year. I'm really excited about it.
To put you guys' mind at ease, for those of you who may own Frank Miller,
I'm sure some of you started to notice it show up in your inventories, and if not, go look.
I just saw that just 5 minutes ago.
Yeah.
It still doesn't show up in the game, but it is in the inventory, which is good.
Right. So we've also learned that implementing things midweek for the competition in Townstar is a bad, and that stresses out people quite a bit. So we don't do that. So Frank Miller should be coming in really soon. He is going to be more exciting than what was originally announced. So that should make you feel better about things. But we are going to
about Voxes, or what about the Miranda's Voxes, or is
that'll probably be the next thing that they start to do. So right now, those, you still can't see those in your inventory yet. They will have to get those implemented, and then again, I assume that it's not a huge rush to get it so you can see them in your inventory, because the Miranda's Fox won't be playable in Townstar until season 2 begins.
Oh, okay.
So
With the market.
yeah, correct.
That's good to know.
So and that you might not see them. They're still, you can still view them in your OpenSea account so that you know that they're there and they're safe, or on collectbox.com so that you can just look at them. My Miranda's Fox is so cute. She looks just like me. Oh my God. I got so lucky. I got a girl
That's
that looks like
awesome.
me. I know. I was so excited. I opened it and I was like, oh my God, I love it. So
I
like,
got my
they're
first
sealed.
one too, and I love that thing. And the utility on this thing is amazing. I can't believe, I didn't think these things were going to be anything that special. These are amazing little creatures.
Yeah. So, and there's more to come, like for the Peter Molyneux. Yeah. Okay. That's right. Wait, nope. The other guy, the Sims guy, Will Wright. There we go. See, I'll get the names all straight in my brain. Is going to be working on like a place for Vox to play, like the Voxverse. I don't know if it's going to be called Voxverse. That's just kind of what I've landed on in my brain about what that is. But there's going to be a lot more fun stuff to come to really give utility to your little buddies, not just in Townstar or in Miranda's. So I'm excited about that too. Yay! Look, people are now looking at Marv in their account. Yes, Will. Bucks came in. I was like, yes.
Nights, let me tell you.
Yeah, I was like, well, I didn't. I made the call this time not to make an announcement until we knew stuff was actually coming in, and I was like, let them just see it in their account. Let's not, like, if they want to be like, we can say it. I'm like, we can't, because I don't know if it's gonna happen. And like, I didn't want to do it again and like make you so sad. I was like, it makes them so sad or salty when like I'm like, hey, we're gonna do it this time, and then it doesn't happen. And
then it might not show up in everybody's account, and then people get unhappy.
And then more tickets come in, and
yes.
doesn't.
So that's the thing too. The tickets come in for things like this, and they still have, each ticket still has to be answered. So that puts everyone behind who might have like, a legitimate technical issue that isn't automatically just fixed. Like they still have to go open up that, check it, and make sure that it's all taken care of, even if it's just when Frank. And I get it. Like I'm never trying to ignore. I just feel bad sometimes because like I'm like, I'm asking, I'm asking, and then I'm sure that I'm annoying the developers who are like, I'm working on it. I'm like, yes, I know. I'm sorry.
Well, I think with these additions that you're making, you guys will get to that point where it's going to be opposite. You're going to be under promising and over delivering. And I think personally at this point, you're to that midpoint. I mean, you guys have really, really impressed a lot of people. People talk about you guys in such a fantastic light, and it makes Faz and I smile when we see these comments in our Discord that how much they dig the system and how much they love to play. And when you guys opened up spider tanks and opened up a little peek into Miranda's there, people are bouncing off the walls with this. That is awesome stuff.
Yeah, I'm excited too. Like we have our Friday meeting, or Friday for all the nerds around us here, where we meet with the entire Gala Games employee list who are in at least the time zone while we're awake. There's about 150 people on our Zoom calls now, with just over 200 people in the team total. But we get super sneak peeks about like partnerships that are coming up, and it is so exciting. Like 7 to 10-year-old Carrie is sitting in the meetings like, this is so freaking cool. Like, this is my job. Like, and I get like, yeah, it's super funny to me to like talk to anybody, like even in family. And like, that was the thing too. Like, I've been in crypto for a while and then started getting into like the gaming side of stuff. And like, I talk to it, at Christmas or holidays or whatever. And they'd be like, whatever, Carrie. Yeah, whatever. You're into the weird crypto stuff. Yeah. Okay. And like, no one would listen. And now it's completely different. Like, people are like, tell me more about this thing that you're doing that appears to be successful.
Well, even in your voice, I mean, the level of excitement and the level of engagement that you give going basically 24/7 is ridiculous. I really don't know how you do it, but you can tell that you absolutely love what you do.
Yeah, there ain't no hiding it. Like it is. That's very true. Like it's like, of course, like I get up and I'm like, okay, so go into work, which is my office across the hall from my bedroom, and then I just go in there. And like lately, I have 20 to 50 new DMs from the evening, from when I went to sleep. And I do very well about clearing those out. So when people send me messages, I answer those. I respond to everybody. Like every single person, they get treated the same way as every other person. Like if you're mean to me, then I'm going to be extra nice to you. And then you're going to be so nice to me after that, that you're going to be like, I'm a horrible person. So don't even try to be mean to me, because I will turn that shit around.
Well, don't give them the secret.
But it's true. Like, and then I'll like go down to Chris and I'll be like, these people were so spicy, but then I fixed them and their heart is better. And like, and then I feel really glad that they're like, you know, they're happy again and they feel comfortable.
I tricked them into being happy.
I really do. Like I can trick you. And, I've always been kind of a happy person, and I just want everybody to be happy like me, I guess. Like, why not? Come play with me. There's plenty of room in my sandbox, which is funny because I used to always say that, and now like sandbox is like the game term of things. So we're all there. I will kill you with kindness. It's true. And I love you too, you guys. I love all of you.
Thank you.
So
We were very excited to hear you had some time for us today. When we were talking about it last night, we were up till probably way later than most normal people, just trying to make sure everything was working and make sure that we had a great experience with you today. It's really hard not to, though.
Yes, I agree completely. You guys, I love it. I will say, I'm going to say just, and I'm the worst about this. Like, I kind of get yelled at. I'm not a lot. Like, I get in trouble so much. It's like, and I laugh because I'm like, it used to like stress me out, and now like still kind of stresses me out. But then I'm just like, well, I guess this is me now. This is my life. This is what I do. Because I tend to want to overshare. I want to answer everyone's question. I want to be as transparent as possible. Like I have always erred on the side of truth, and my theory for that from growing up was like, I don't understand how people lie, because then you have to remember the lies. Like I can remember the truth just fine, but like if you start lying, then stuff gets hard. And
it's called ADD.
I don't think that's lying so much as just forgetting and being all over the place, which I have a little bit of that as well. But yeah, so like I would tend to want to just answer all questions all the time. And that's how I feel like I am in the chat. Like when normally in the evenings, I go through all the channels and I pop through to make sure nobody's questions were missed. Even if they were a couple of hours before, then I try to reply to them to make sure that they get their answers. Even if I don't know the answer, like I might just reply and be like, I don't know this. Let me see if I can find out. If not, have a great day. So I'll do what I can. Crisp Herring, now I have to say it very clear like that. Asked about more exciting than promise for the FN link. I don't know if I should elaborate on that. You will know very soon. I will just say what was announced before was that it would get 50 town when placed in TownStar, and it's different than that now. There are other. It's different. I don't want
5,000
really...
TC. You heard it here.
Yeah. So it's not 50 necessarily anymore. There might be other things.
So that's
happening.
a good question. Or I just came up with a good question.
Oh, in your brain.
In my brain from that. So in the CryptoFaz Discord last night, people were talking about how these NFTs would be changed over time. And of course, everybody likes to hear that they're getting more TC for their existing stuff. That's happened once before. But then, of course, people are predicting doom and gloom if for some reason there's less TC. Like, oh, well, the Frank Miller's going to get 40 TC a day. And I get the feeling, or some people get the feeling, that you'll never, ever be able to lower the TownCoin amount because then you'll have a riot on your hands.
Word. I feel like that seems true. Like I can't make a promise that I know what the guys on the finance side of things will do. But as of now, like we the most important thing really is that we make sure that the economy for everything is able to thrive and not that it's going to die soon. Because we've seen I have seen a lot of projects in the crypto space where they overpromised. It was too much. It was really great for those people who got in early and then dumped it and got out, but it wasn't something that was able to actually make it and have any longevity to it. So our focus on the economics team and making sure that we have something that is going to last a really, really long time. And at first, you know, things are they're a little hairy. We don't know. We're fully just guessing. And as we move along, we're going to get answers to those guesses and to those questions that we had. We're going to be like, ooh, that was not good.
Yeah, people
This
need to
was-
realize that some mechanics they put in the game might just suck, and they have to remove them
Yeah,
or revamp them.
100%. And that is something that like I would or do try to remind people that it's definitely possible. We're still early on. If it's breaking the game, we're going to remove it because like in the end, we want the game to not break. And sure, that might make you a little sad. Fine. That's okay. We can be sad about it. But I always look at it as like, well, you got to be in early and you got to benefit from those things before we had to take it out. So yay for you being here. It makes me think back to like, again, like my main example is Splinterlands. When that first started and you would win your daily challenges, you got cards only. So I was able to build up my collection very quickly back in those early days. And then the first time they decided to implement having the potions also as rewards and deck or dark energy crystals as rewards and also packs, people's brains exploded, like fully exploded. And they were like, rug pull, no, you have to give me cards only. And like, it was just a matter of like, this isn't sustainable. We need to be able to put other things out so that we can keep rewards coming so that they still have value. And then also a reminder, just in general, hopefully things will generally grow in value as more people come, more people want them. Certain things become more rare, other things become less rare. Like all of this is very much always on the minds of our economy team and tokenomics team and things like that. So like it is not being ignored in any way. And like sometimes it feels like, what are you doing? That's crazy. But a lot of thought has generally gone into those things when those decisions are made. And like if it flops, then we back up and we're like, okay, well, that was no good. Let's try something else. And like that's what our goal is so that we can really make it sustain itself for a long time.
I think this rental program is going to make a huge difference. And the reason I say that is my 11-year-old son is doing very well with his Gala stuff. He bought a legendary spider tank. He plays it. He's really getting into it hardcore. The kid's got a ton of Gala tokens because he believed in it right from the beginning. When we were talking last year, when things started to roll out, he took all his Christmas money, his birthday money.
Holy crap, that's
buying,
awesome.
Yeah. So, well, anyway, he's the same way. He started looking in. He goes and he bought a legendary body, and he's like, wow, this is expensive. He goes, I don't know. I want to have more than one tank, And so then I sat him down and I said, look, they've got this rental program that's coming out. And he's like, okay, what? So I explained how that works to him. A lot of it is we field questions on a regular basis from people, oh my God, this is so expensive. I don't have $7,000 to earn, and I think stressing that to the community about how it'll give more people access, not just gearing it towards the whales who might have 4,000 NFTs sitting in their OpenSea box, but demonstrating and giving examples. And you guys did great at Galaverse when you had those guests on talking about how it changed their lives and got them out of bad situations. Using that that rental program to show that it's actually impacting people's lives, I think is going to be a huge attractor to this game, because you need the younger folks who might not have parents that have enough to get them NFTs, or
Right.
people in the Philippines or Thailand or anywhere else who wants to be able to partake in this. They're going to have an opportunity for virtually no cost. And it benefits everybody. It benefits Gala Games. It benefits the NFT owner, and it benefits the person playing it. I mean, you guys have come up with some brilliant ideas, and of course, this always sets your bar a little higher, though. We're always waiting for that next big bomb to come out, and you talking with us here tonight, and some of the stuff I've seen some of the other red and blue names talking about in the Gala server. You guys got a lot of shoe to fill there with that foot this year.
I think our foot might overfill our shoe. So
I hope so.
yeah, like I think it's gonna be a crazy year this year. Yeah, I'm really excited. I love that Bucks is helping and answer questions while we're chatting here. She's the best. Like
I
wish
know
she
that.
were
Hey,
sitting
Bucks,
next to me
thank
right
you
now.
so much for watching the chat while we're over here running our yips.
Yeah, for sure. I love that she's like popping in there and doing that.
So she knows all the things. Like if I know something, she knows all the things, definitely. But yeah, our team is just growing and getting better, and I don't know, like I think like it's just going to get better every single time. It's going to get better. We're going to get more people who are just amazing to add to our team, and that's just going to impress and hopefully keep the community growing and strong and supportive and happy. Like I always say, like we want to make you guys happy. Like that's our goal. Like first, let's play some fun games and let's earn while we're doing it. So I love it. Yes. Bucks is my favorite team. I got to meet her for the first time in Vegas, and I was very excited. Like I had to hold back my tears of happiness and joy, but it was the same for many like people, I'm sure, getting to meet everyone.
Bucks was not who I had in my head when I got to see her speak there versus when I would see her speak other places. And I was like, you know, I have a different look on it. It's a better look, by the way. But she didn't seem very approachable in text, but in voice and watching her, she seemed extraordinarily approachable.
She is the sweetest, most approachable person ever. Like I think that yeah, she's done a few AMAs like with Jason and things like that. And if you've missed those, you should go find it just so that you can fall in love with her like everyone does every single time. But yeah, it was funny for me when you speak about her in chat. I didn't know who she was in chat for a while, like in the Discord chat, because I dealt with her, of course, and like work with her in our Slack channel, but we have, you know, our human names in there. And so I didn't, and like I would get like mildly, now I keep a list. So I keep the contact list of all the employees because we have our Discord names on this list, so that when I'm in Discord and I see like some weird name and I'm like, who is this red name? Who this person think they are? What they doing up in my Discord? And especially since we have a lot of new employees, I'm all like, what is this? And so I have to go look and I'm like, oh, okay. And so it was super funny. I remember being like, oh my God, that's Sarah Buxton. That makes sense. Yeah, I get it.
Right?
Because at first I thought that I was like, who is this person? Like her, I didn't even know it was a she. I was like, who's this person talking in my chat? And then I find out that it was Sarah, and I was like, oh, okay, that's fine.
She's allowed.
Well, they're going to be filling her DMs, and they're already calling her out to be on one of the next shows. So we'll play that by ear. I'll tell you, it's amazing that you guys are so open with us and with the community, and that you are so approachable, because this is what people love so much about this project. And I can't wait I really can't wait to see what you put together with this team, because if they're half as good as you guys are going to have a heck of a lot of success this year.
Yeah, I believe that's true. I'm stoked, and like I love it, and I love that you invited me to come on and chat. Like I'm always willing to do it, but most of the time when people are like, we would like to interview someone, I straight up am like, here's Jason's email. And I just like pass it on to someone else. So thank you. It makes me feel very special that you invited me to come on and talk.
Oh, anytime, Carrie. And we appreciate it. We could sit here and talk all night, I'm sure.
Bruh, last time, do you remember, weren't we on for like 3 hours?
A little over 3 hours. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we managed to cut the show down to like an hour, but it was so much fun learning about you and about what you do. And at that point, a lot more about Gala Games. So before Faz cuts us off with the end live button, my last question for you is, without leaking anything, because I know you're bursting at the seams.
Leak, but don't leak.
Yeah, give the people who spent the last hour and 35 minutes listening to us ramble on a little something juicy.
Juicy, you say? Well, without leaking, I will say Gala Games will be much more than just games very soon.
Oh, that's a really good
Will
one.
that give utility to our NFTs and or Town and or Gala?
Oh, the can of worms is open.
Oh no, I kept it pretty high level.
You did.
Perhaps.
Okay, that's good enough.
Much
Perhaps.
more, but
See, if you had no idea,
still blockchain.
If you had no idea, then you could know, hey, that would be a good way to give utility. But if you have something going on, then that's what we want.
Mm-hmm. Oh, see, Bucks even approves of my leak but not leak. I have to I'm normally good at getting things pretty quickly in my brain on how to word stuff, but I really wanted to say 15 things, and I'm sure that Bucks was like, what is she gonna do?
Yeah, she was.
What is she gonna say?
She was hovering the fingers over the DM. God damn it, Carrie.
Yeah. Don't say it. Oh, I love it. So yeah, I feel like that was a massive leak without leaking too much, but there it is. So stay tuned.
Are you reading what John just said? Oh, he deleted it, didn't he? Never mind.
Dun, 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 dun. Games and food. Yes, we'll be delivering food via Uber Eats. All over. I don't know how that would work.
We're going to do grocery delivery. Gala Games grocery store delivery.
There you go.
Yes, I make Bucks so nervous. No, I do. I think that's safe. I think we're good. There's more to come.
There's good points to that, though. Making people nervous is a good thing in certain circumstances.
We should probably end it here while the leak is fresh in people's minds. Otherwise, it'll get watered down.
Word. True. True.
Thank you guys for coming.
Yes, thank you for having
Carrie,
me.
for coming.
Thanks for all the questions, you guys.
Gala Pizza. Yes. There's a Gala Pizza website, isn't there?
Dude, there should be. We brought pizza during Galaverse, and actually during my Decentral Miami, we provided pizza for lots and lots of people during that conference. It was amazing. And I delivered tacos from Gala around drunk people in our hotel bar at 1 a.m, and I walked around and I said, "Hi, I'm Carrie from Gala Games. Would you like a free taco?" And then everyone loved us.
Free tacos does that.
Yeah, it really does.
I know how to get the people. So, but thank you guys again. We'll do it again soon.
All right. Thanks.
I'm going to end it right now. Thank you, everyone.